All right, everybody, we are here, and we are so sorry we had to switch links. For some reason, when we shut down the microphone between trying to get ready and everything, we ended up not having the setup in the way we needed it to be. So for reason unknown, we are definitely here, and we're definitely ready to rock and roll. So I just want to make sure we're all caught up live, everybody, and we're going to check out this just to make sure. I see some streaming, but I want to look at the camera, then look down to make sure I'm looking up at the camera to see how far back we are. And we should go. There we are. All right, everybody. We are live here. We are rocking and rolling. So sorry for those who did not have the opportunity to do the last one. We're trying to get it set up where we can let everyone know from the last link that we are moved over here now. So it's just going to take me a minute to get everybody there over here, and then we should be ready to start. All right, it looks like everything's shut down on that side, so we're definitely okay to do this. Just one more second. I want to make sure that everything's good. All right, guys, I think we're good, ready to rock and roll. All right, let me just double check. All right, and you can hear me too, sweetie, right? You can hear me too? Okay, beautiful. No worries.
I was on the other tab writing to everybody else.
I understand, no worries. All right, everybody, welcome to the very first ET Whisper monthly webinar for 2017. This is a big moment. We always, every year, I've noticed a cycle last week, every year for the last 2 years, we do monthly webinars. And for the last 2 years, we haven't started till April. We run at full steam until December, and all of a sudden, we notice January, February, March, we don't do the webinars because we're trying to catch up, we're recuperating, we're doing all those things. This month, we're back up a little early. We have not had a ton of activity on this channel for the last few months, and that's sad to say because we like getting content out to everybody. We like for you guys to be able to see Treb, Aridif, Metatron, the Nihal, all of these different entities who bring forward the messages. We love to see Kalina and myself on here talking, sharing, being a part of each other's experience. This year has been a little crazy, and without going into too much detail, my son's turning 18 in April. During that time, there'll be a court hearing. And just recently, we found out that this court hearing will say he either stays with one parent full-time or the other. So he could be at his mom's now 100% of the time, or he could be with me 100% of the time. And we won't know anything until late April, early March. Or May, I'm sorry, I always say that, May. So that's been something where me and Kalina have spent a lot of time and energy into kind of figuring that problem out, worrying how it goes. My son, for those who don't know, he's 18, but he's also severely handicapped, cerebral palsy. He's in an 18-year-old body. He has the physical body of a 4-month-old, not as far as height. He's full grown, but he can't move very well. His right arm, right leg don't work. His left ones don't work well. He can't feed himself. He can't bathe himself, can't change his diapers. He can't do any of those things by himself. So that's left to me when I have him, or his mother when she has him. So it's a very big responsibility, and that's why you only see us active 2 weeks per month with shooting videos and doing things and reaching out, doing events. And the other 2 weeks, we only do personal sessions with people. If we get him, we're going to have to figure out a whole new way to live full time. We're going to have to figure out how to go through that experience and still be able to do events, things like that. If for any reason his mother were to get him, then this will probably put us out and about more because we wouldn't specifically be tied to the Michigan area for that reason. So we'd be able to go out and about and do a lot more work. Now, as far as work is, I love doing the channeling. I love connecting, but I also love my son with all my heart, and taking care of him is not just feeling a responsibility for me, but a sense of pleasure. And it's tough, but it's part of me being a parent. For those of you who have kids, you understand. For those of you who don't, using your empathy, you can understand that. So it's very mixed emotion, and that's why me and Kalina have been kind of quiet for the last few months, and we always are for the first couple months, working in December, working hard throughout the end of last year. We put together that amazing channel panel online event. We had 14 channelers this year over 2 days. The online event was amazing. That put a lot of work and energy. So things are going this way, and we're getting back to normal now. We're starting to get back in the flow. Before I talked about the difference between the open forum and today's webinar, this is a monthly webinar that occurs on the first Sunday where my son goes back to his mother's. So until things change with custody, we're going to continue that energy, and it will always be a Sunday at 2 p.m. This is normally a paid event. We usually once or twice a year make it free for the public to join live, or we give them the webinar at a later time, sometimes the week after it's done, sometimes a couple months, just depending on the flow of energy and how much content we're putting out through our YouTube channel. And the open forum is a lot different. The open forum is always free and comes from participation of YouTube people and their questions. So Kalina has a form for you guys to fill out today, and she shared that link through the chat, and we'll continue to do so throughout the day. That's where you'll send today's questions for the monthly webinar. Now, if you want to join in on the open forum, which we will be shooting in the next 1 week for February and this month, then what we're going to suggest you do is go to that video and read through the description, because the instructions of how to send questions are there so that you guys will be able to send out your information. I just found out that I had put the wrong email up. I put my email instead of Kalina's to send those. So the new description has the new email on there. Any ones that I did receive through the mail, I'll forward to Kalina before we shoot that, but we will be shooting that in the next week. That's going to be set up with our 4K camera, hopefully outside if it's warm enough sometime next week. It just snowed again, so it's fighting cold and warm in Michigan. And Kalina and I will take care of that. Now, you've heard Kalina's name 100 times. Some of you are new to this channel. So I want to kind of give Kalina an introduction. She's busy now doing questions and stuff. She will be on back and forward throughout the day, asking the questions that you're sending to Treb and Aridif and so on. But Kalina Angell is not just my fiance. She's not just a person who helps out with ET Whisper. She's an essential part of ET Whisper in general. She does a ton of the video editing. She does a ton of marketing, a ton of the creative things. When you see the videos and you see creative, we share a lot of that energy together. And she also is a channeler. Now, she hasn't shared her channeling publicly a lot. She shared probably 5 or 6 channelings that were in written formats, or I want to call it a telepathic, not a trance state, not like me where I'm going under and the words flow through in that direct way, but she receives downloads telepathically and shares that too. So those are the 2 forms that she's done so far, and she's continuing each and every day to expand her ability. She is connected with the most amazing group of Arcturians. It's an Arcturian collective, and me and Kalina call it the Arcturian 103 Collective, or Aridif called it that, so we continue. They are the most loving, amazing beings, and they just aren't Arcturian energies. There are several different races in the Arcturian collective consciousness. Now, a lot of people don't know this, but the Arcturian collective has several different planets, multiple races on each planet, and multiple races per dimension. So from what we've heard, I think it was 12 or 13 different races, or maybe even upwards to 17. I can't remember. But we have at least 3 or 4 different races that we are aware of so far as Kalina expands through her connection. She has some beautiful artwork of the Arcturian energy. I don't know if she'll be able to find that and send it because she's going to be busy today. But if she does, we'll find a link for you guys to look at that. Done by one of the most amazing ET artists, a channeling artist, Vashta Narada, a wonderful dear friend of ours for a long time. She actually just finished a book where her, me, and I think it was a total of 8 or 9 different people, but me and her and 6 people or 7 other people came together from a man who's called Miguel Mendoza. He wrote Welcoming the Hybrid books, or the Hybrid books. I can't remember the exact title, but it's basically about hybrid children. He's worked with some of the biggest energies around. I believe he's worked with Barbara Lamb, maybe Dolores Cannon before she passed, but he works with all of these very connected people who work on bringing forward hybrids. And this is the first time he had a channeler come in. So Vashta and me just finished that up. And the book is available too from Miguel. If you guys go to my Facebook page, all of my stuff's there, along with all of the light pages, the Aridif page, the Treb page, Nihal, Metatron, etc. So I wanted to let you guys know about the book because it is important, and it has a bunch of wonderful energy and people who are sharing their experiences in there. Aridif's, I believe he has 19 pages of his own, over 3,000 words, I believe, or maybe it's 21 pages, it's around there, as well as me and Miguel talking. So a chapter of that book, a very large chapter, is dedicated to me and Aridif's energy of co-creation. So we want to let you guys know that. We also wanted to let you know that today we are going to get to the channeling question and answer. So we're not going to make you wait much longer for that. I just wanted to say I'm so sorry, guys, for getting everything started with a different energy, but the emotional agility requires that we stay happy. We forget about all the issues with technology that sometimes occur, and we get to the exciting channeling parts. Me and Kalina want to tell all of you guys, we want to thank you for your patience. It has been, like we said, a very weird last few months for us, a very slow months when it comes to our work. And we want to thank all of you guys who did stick it out, who stayed on the channel, who watched the videos, who supported us financially by getting private sessions. And if this is something that you're interested in, getting sessions, doing a channeling class where you learn to channel yourself, where you want to learn to meditate, or if you just want to talk to me, all of those are available at etwhisper.com/book online. You can go to etwhisper.com, and below on the bottom, below the pictures that go by, there's a book yourself a session. You can click there or click on service tab, book yourself a session. You can choose your own date. Right now, I think we're booked out to mid-April, and we're going to update the calendar soon. So hopefully either we'll have a few more spots or we'll have a longer extended period of when we're able to get everything done. But if you're interested, check it out. We just put out a video a few weeks ago, which was the open forum from December and January. And that was an amazing video. Kalina did a great job editing, but also content. And we're trying to make it where on videos like this, where there's multiple things talked about, and it's a 2-hour video or 1-hour video, we mark where it is. So that open forum has that. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's been making its rounds on YouTube and Facebook, on Twitter. A lot of people have seen it. Really exciting stuff, guys. So thank you for all of your support. Some of you guys don't know that it takes me a few minutes to neutralize. So I'm going to be shutting down the microphone and the camera for 5 to 7 minutes. I'm going to neutralize my energy. And when I get back, we're going to talk for another minute. I'll say hi. Then I'm going to breathe, and I'm going to Om. And then breathing, Aridif will come in. He'll tell you he's there. And we're going to start taking questions. So in less than 10 minutes collectively, we will be chatting with Aridif directly. Kalina is excited. I know you guys have your questions, and we can't wait to hear them. We love you guys very much. And while I'm neutralizing, Kalina is going to be explaining the process of questions to you guys too. So I love you guys. I'll hand it over to the most beautiful sunshine, the queen of sunshine herself, Kalina Angell. Love you guys, and I'll see you in 5 to 7.
Thank you, sweetie. Well, welcome everybody. This is Kalina, and I just wanted to just welcome you guys all today and explain the questioning process for those of you that are new, because as you know, this is a free webinar today, and what I'm going to do is post in the chat room For any of you that are just watching now and you're wondering, where is this chat room? It's usually located on the right-hand side of your screen, a little bit toward the bottom. So just look diagonally if you have the screen on like a medium setting, or just go ahead and shrink it down now. And then look diagonally to the right. That's where it's mostly set for most people, unless you've moved it around. You can click on the chat room, and you can actually move it around, which is really cool. So if you wanted to move it up a little bit more or move it below, it does have that capability, which I think is really, really cool. Anyway, I'm going to send the link again. And the reason I do this is because you can see the chat room. It's moving really fast. And anytime I try to read something, sometimes it'll flip back to the bottom again. It's really hard for me to catch questions. So I have a Google form. You fill it out. And we have tons of questions too. Let me take a look at how many we've got so far. So we have so far 49 questions in total. And we're going to be, once we start, we're going to be running about around 90 minutes or so, possibly longer, depending on how Rob's physical body is doing at the time. Because he runs a very, for those of you that know about how Rob channels, he runs a very high voltage. He's a really amazing channeler, but it does take a lot of energy because he gives everything that he has. So for those of you that don't know, he's a trance channeler, and he's going to be channeling both Treb and Aridif today. So you can ask for whoever you want, Treb or Aridif, or you can say either or too. So it's up to you. But anyway, with the question, there'll be a maximum of 2 questions. I'm hoping we can get at least 1 question per person, but you'll definitely want to put your first name in. So if you haven't done that yet, you are able to go back and edit your questions too. Now, if for some reason you're not able to figure it out, you can email me questions, but please only do this if you can't, if you're not able to get it to work, because it will cause a delay in me getting to those, because when I'm moderating, I'm also taking care of a lot of things in the background with technical issues, getting the questions read and all of that stuff. So, but is there anybody here who isn't familiar with Treb or Aridif, needs a little bit of a description? Because I think everybody here already knows. Oh, I've seen more people coming in. Welcome, guys. Okay, so it looks like everybody pretty much well knows about Treb and Aridif, so I'll just give a really super brief description for anybody who's just coming upon this now. So Aridif is a 6th density, originally from the Pleiades. Their race moved out to Deneb, and he's a very wise, beautiful being. I don't remember his exact age, but I think he's in his 2000s now, I think, if I remember correctly. And but he looks very he was very young. They live a long time. He's considered very young on his planet. So he has mastered love and wisdom, and he's just a very beautiful being, and he is very deeply connected to both Treb and Rob. In fact, Treb and Aridif are considered future probable selves of Rob, if that makes sense to you guys. Because I know it can sound very complicated, but you guys are so cutting edge. I learn stuff from you guys every day too. But you'll hear a lot of talk about future probable realities whenever you hear the channelings of Treb and Aridif. So just be aware of that, because there are multiple probable realities. Now with Treb, I'll give you a brief introduction of him too. He is a being who is from the 5th dimension. He's from Capella, and he is, believe it or not, hopefully it won't scare some of you, but he is reptilian, but not from a draconian race. But he was actually created by a future branch of the human race called the Nihal, who moved out toward the Nihal star And what they did is, part of the gift of the human and humanoid collective was to create these beings who are basically hybrid reptilian humanoids. So, and they created this partly from using the second density reptilians that were on the planet there, and they basically infused their DNA in and created this race, and then put them on a parallel timeline to us. So I know it's really cool. It sounds like a lot of really cool sci-fi, but he's a very benevolent reptilian humanoid, just very loving, and he will definitely be here with us today, as will Aridif. And yeah, and oh, I should let you guys know, if you have not checked out some of the artwork of Treb and Aridif, and also Metatron, and Rob won't be channeling Metatron that we know of today, but you should definitely check out, I think it's Vashta.com. Let me double check. Yep, that's it. Let me put this down for you guys, this website. You've got to see this, because she does artwork not only for Gaiam, but she also does artwork for, she's done artwork for us with Treb and Aridif. She's done lots of artwork on hybrid children. She's done artwork on just multiple races of interdimensional beings. So extraterrestrials, interdimensional beings, all sorts of beings of that nature. And she's just incredibly amazing. But we've got a whole bunch of artists that are amazing. And if you check out Rob's Facebook page and you look through the pictures, he has all kinds of artists and artwork from Vashta. Eduardo Khen is another one. We have an anonymous artist who we hope is going to come forward. Somebody's been doing a lot of artwork of Aridif and Treb lately too. We've got, if I remember correctly, his name is pronounced David Hein. I think it's Hein. Is it David? I'll have to look that up again. So anyway, guys, I just wanted to welcome you guys all again. I see more people coming in. Did I just see Aaron is in here? Oh my gosh, this is an amazing group, guys. Oh. Okay, so Rob is neutralizing, and when he comes back, you guys are going to hear probably some breathing and oming, and I think it's really incredible. I agree, Vesna. I was wondering where Vashta is too. I am responding to the chat room. Yes, I'm wondering too. I actually emailed her. She may have not gotten the new link yet, so I emailed her, and I'm hoping that she'll get it. We are trying to mine the bandwidth on the internet right now, so if anybody wants to go on to Facebook for a second and just give her the new link, you can. And I'm hoping that Savita is here too. Hey, Aaron, I see you're here too. I haven't heard from Savita in a while. Yes, good point. Let me give a rundown of some of the, let me see if I can see some of the names. That way you guys will know. Some of you guys submitted questions yesterday. And let's see. I'll read out some of the names that I see here. So we've got Josie, Steve, Darcy Lolita, Ishana, an anonymous question. And let's see, Bella, Nick. One second, sorry, this is flipping up. We've got questions from Sergey, Deborah, Omex, Ua, Malin, and I'm sorry guys if I mispronounce anyone's name. We've got Edward, we've got Kern, Damien, Bronzewolf, Robert, Allison, which is Allison 6. I had to say that because I know we get a lot of Allisons on here sometimes. Another anonymous question. Luca. Let's see, Ashley. Stefan, David, Kenna, Megan, Peter, Helene, Harmony, Summer, Aaron, Miguel, Michelle, Yelena, Sarah, Lisa, Yvette, Anthony, Julian, Derek, Kelsey, Caroline, Martin, Fred, Tom, Anna, Fallon, Michael, Elisa, Jan, Pashwat, Rohan, Lori, Samuel, Kevin, Elga, Justin, and that's for the question 1. So if any of you guys filled out question 2, just be aware it could be only in question 2. I want to check in with Rob because he could be ready.
I am ready.
I could feel it.
I was ready for a couple minutes, but I know letting people know whose question is up first or whose question has already been got from you is important for them and for
it's very
you,
important. So if you didn't hear it and you did fill out the question, because they have 2 spaces, but the first questions are always the ones that I read out first. I also wanted to say, guys, if I sounded a little nonsensical anywhere at all, congratulate me maybe a little bit, because I have been cutting so far down on caffeine. It's crazy. I have a small cyst on one of my adrenal glands, and I have decided that I'm going to heal that naturally, because it was just I want to be able to heal that, because that can create all kinds of repercussions. So one of the things is to cut out caffeine. So I'm kind of been stepping down. Rob and I, he can tell you, we love our coffees, we love our espressos. We probably drink more than we ever should. But I have been drinking green tea and peppermint tea mixed lately, and I have 1 a day. So it's very small amounts. So you guys let me know if you need me to repeat anything. But since you wrote your questions for me, I think that makes my job super easy for today. But if I sound like I'm speaking gibberish, let me know. I'll take a little hit of green tea right now. I'm ready to go. But yes, you guys got to try it. Green tea mixed with peppermint, the peppermint tea, the real peppermint leaves. Oh my gosh, guys, it's amazing. You don't need to put any kind of sugar or anything in it. It's got a natural sweetness, just letting you know. Amazing.
You're doing great, baby. You're flowing well. I can hear you from here. I know it's changed, but you're doing amazing with it.
Yes, I'm amazed that I can function this well without so much caffeine. It's incredible.
Absolutely. I'm ready to rock and roll. I know everybody else is probably ready also to do that. So I'm going to take a drink of water real quick. I just wanted to let you guys know, too, that being here today, asking questions that come from you is always a personal reflection of energy, and it's a co-creative part of energy. And when you ask Treb Bor Yit something, they're going to look at your energy. They're going to look at where your energy connects. You have so many different layers of energy, thousands and thousands of layers of different kinds of energies, relationship, mental, emotional. I mean, everything you can think of, and a lot of things you probably can't think of right now. But when those energies are activated from that question, Treb Bor Yit, look at that, they see not just what the energy is, but where the energy comes from. They see the entities, the guides, the angels, the beings that are connected with you, and they take that information reflection and they give it back to you from their own perspective. And the reason I always explain that to everyone before everyone gets started is so that you can remember to enjoy today. Even though you might have tough things going on in your life, you might be asking about questions that are really tough about your personal life. Just remember, if you have fun with it and you let that information energy come back in an open way, you'll receive it in an open way, and it also will be reflected from them back to you in a very open way. So enjoy yourself, guys. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for being here. And thank you, Kalina, for all you're doing today and every day.
Absolutely.
Oh, thank you, baby. And thank you guys again. So I'm going to take one drink of water and then we're going to get in. And we'll go for at least 90 minutes. So we're looking at 340. Yeah, I think we can easily go to 415 easily.
Awesome.
So we'll count that as our minimum standard.
4:15, and I'll check in with Treb and or Aridif, whoever's talking then.
Sure, absolutely.
How you're feeling around that time. He'll keep us posted. And just so you guys know, Aridif drinks a lot of water, so if suddenly he says he has to take a quick break, you guys know why. So, you guys may have noticed he makes him drink a lot. Well, he doesn't make him drink a lot of water, but Rob requires a lot of water during the channeling state, especially.
Yeah, absolutely. I usually go through as much water in a channeling session than I do the rest of the day by myself. So we're going to jump in, though, guys, so we can get this marked up by about 4:15-ish or so. Love you guys. One more drink of water, and then we're going to jump in.
I love you too, sweetie.
Love you, baby. All right, here we go, guys. Greetings to you all. This is Aridif. That is Ridif, and this is Dispelled. Before diving into your queries, we must express three things. First thing, in our perspective, always of the utmost importance, to know, to feel, to understand, and to utilize the fact that you are loved. It is not an entity or energy that is dedicated to separating itself so that it may spend its own energy upon you, but it is the universal created consciousness, the co-created collective consciousness existing in its pure essence that is made from love. Secondly, we wish to greet you, Kalina, and all of you who have co-created in this day.
Thank you so much for being here today, Aridif.
Yes, we are grateful to co-create with you in this day. Thirdly, we wish to express the concept of this year. There is a great deal of energy that has went through the idea of the year 2017. Now, we have spoken briefly about what the year has to bring forward, but we only spoke in certain parts and varieties of energy. The highest probable upcoming events when it comes to contact or mass sightings. Although that is exciting for some of you, it has less practicality for others. What is important is the overall ideal of what energy is in this year. All of you understand for the years 2015 and 16, we're both growing in expansion, but also digging deep within yourselves, projecting yourself out into your reality, moving forward through your excitements, manifesting what you desire, getting what you want, creating circumstances and ideals that were helpful to you all throughout the year of 2015 until that very end. Then, many of you created circumstances and co-created circumstances that forced you a bit inward. It forced you not as greatly going out and exposing your own excitements to the world, but to truly look deep in yourself and wonder, what else am I meant to do? What else am I exposed to do? And what else can I experience in this collective consciousness? Now, this continued throughout different ways and manifested itself in different forms throughout the year of 2016, all the way until the last 2.5 to 3 months of that year. From that period, there was a new expression of certain relationships, new expression of certain ideals, and new expressions of your fourth density self. Now, that fourth density version of yourself expresses connection processes in all places that it desires. And what we mean by the fourth density expression of connections to things, we are speaking of connections to your relationships, connections to persons, places, things, ideals, and most of all, excitements. Many of you sit within the last 3 months of the year of 2016, going backwards and forwards from wanting to do something, desiring to do something, to second guessing that one thing, asking yourself at the very deepest parts of your consciousness, was this what was meant to be experienced? Is this what I truly desire, or is it something I've created in my own reality in order to make myself feel better about not manifesting the things in which we desire more? And that was a very large part of the co-created collective consciousness. You see the end of that year creating things that occurred on the world stage that created confusion amongst the masses, a division between two separate categories of people. Most humans call these entities people who are perhaps progressive, but also people who are old school or old in their thoughts and trains of ideas. So those two places battle. And why did this occur? Bringing that energy far into the now moment, into your year of 2017, the still seen division amongst the masses, the feeling in yourself that everything is okay, but seeing outside of you that things are not, that things are still divided in some way. Many of you who are perceiving it in this way are starting to understand the importance of what lies within your own self. And this year, in the 2017, you are going to find that energy play out more and more in your day-to-day experience. You are going to find that when you are peaceful inside, even if the things outside of you look divided, your own energy can be contagious to those around you. When you place yourself in groups of those who are like-minded, you will find that more and more energies will start being resonant to your vibrational quality. You will find new friends, new experiences, new groups in order to manifest those things that you desire. A great deal of change occurs within this year, and in that energy of change, you are at the forefront of how it's changed. Now, this is no different than any year before, but you noticing that direct reaction to your energy, thoughts, beliefs, and your actions will directly show you the manifestational quality of making an equal thermalibrium with your environment, with your surroundings, and with those around you. We wish to express a great gratitude to all of you and to thank you for your expansion and your co-creation, which gives us a bit of our own expansion. You may begin your queries at your leisure.
Thank you so much, Aridif. Wow, that's exciting.
Yes.
And I wanted to also finish by saying I love you and we love you and Treb. And again, thank you so, so much for being here. I'm going to do something slightly untraditional, and I'm going to ask the first question because I think everybody here will find it cool and they might have even had the same experience. And it reminded me to ask it because, as you guys know, we had to create a new link because for some reason the original link went dead. So when Rob was doing that, he was trying to do that quickly, and he accidentally typed in webinar March 2917 instead of 2017, which we've all been chuckling about. We're saying we're shifting ahead into the future. But I had an actual real experience with that last night involving seconds. So I was on my phone last night and, well, technically this morning, and sometimes when I happen to look at it and it's at 103, because I have 100 Arcturian 3 sides, I will sometimes take a picture of of the screen just for kicks, because I want to kind of see how many times this happens. So as I was getting ready to say, and I saw it turn from 102 to 103, and just as I was about to take a snap, it turned to 104. I was like, wait a minute, that was like a second. And then I turned and I told Rob about it, and he was like, oh, that's strange. I said, I swear something must have happened in a minute, or there's something going on with my phone. It could just be my phone. It's an S5 in technology terms. It's getting older. So I was like, okay. And I looked at it again. And at this point, when I looked at it again, I saw, I kid you guys not, it was like 105, 106, 107, boom, just like that. Like in that moment, I'm like, did I somehow something happened to time? And then I kind of, because Rob was trying to go to sleep at this point, I nudged him and I said, how long did it feel to you that time went by when I asked you that? And he said, I don't know, maybe a minute and a half, 2 minutes. So I was like, oh my gosh, that is crazy. So I don't know if something happened, if I had some kind of weird time shift, or if my phone is just totally bonking out. So I was wondering if you could clarify that, because I get the feeling if I'm seeing those weird little things, other people might be seeing them too. Could you explain what happened there?
Yes, of course. We wish to congratulate you into your experience of time shift of your fourth density experience. First of all, yes, the technology at hand is an issue, but it is not an issue for the reason you think it is an issue. Most of you perceive your electronics becoming crazy or whacking out, as some of you call it, from an experience of the digital energy or the mechanic nature of that technology being off or different. But in all actuality, the integration of your fourth density self experiences two things. It starts experiencing not only the consciousness of the technology itself, which each and every one of your technologies, even your most primitive calculators where you are moving beads from the left side of the wooden and metal structure to the side of the right, all the way up into your fanciest and most high-tech computers, all have their own consciousness. But even your own consciousness will start the integration process to co-create with the already existing consciousnesses. So in that essence, you are experiencing your own energy linking to the energy of this electronic device. And as you, as a fourth density energy, you, one who is absent of resistance in that moment, start feeling the shift of your own consciousness because you placed your awareness on time itself. And because you were lacking resistance in that one moment, you were able to experience the shift of your own consciousness as it pertains to co-creating with your certain technological device. In that moment, you were shifting time, and you were also co-creating what you perceived as a malfunction with this technology in order to show you that even though all of you are just entering that fourth density water, all of you are shifting between third and fourth in each moment, that the fourth density slide of consciousness can occur to you in any moment at any time. We recall an energy, an experience that Rob's had, where he is going down the street within the vehicle, on an empty street, lacking cars or humans, but one who is walking towards him, 1,000 feet minimum away from any other building or road. Looking at that entity, he looks to his left and to the right, and then both directions again, to assure himself safety of entering the road from the driveway. After going onto the road, looking in that exact area, there is no one there. His experience shifting from that third density energy to the fourth, and the entity who was walking down the street was still there, but not visible to Rob, because he shifted into a fourth density vibration. That caused him both a great excitement, but also a sense of disillusion, perhaps is the best word to express this. So in that moment, if he were to have turned around his vehicle, the entity would have still been there. He would have been able to see him with his own two eyes, because that feeling of disillusion brought him directly back into the third density experience. All of you have the capacity of this, and many of you are starting to notice that shift between the third and fourth density. We thank you.
That is amazing. Oh my gosh, that's really fun. I love that we're all having these experiences too together. I was looking at some of the comments, and I'm definitely not the only one. And that story that Rob had that happened to him a couple of weeks ago was really amazing too. I've even been seeing flashes of beings and things of that nature too, from other dimensions. So it's really cool. It just feels like the psychic centers and people are really developing even more than they ever were before. So this is really fun. I love this. So I'm going to move on to Josie's question, and it can be asked for Treb or Aridif. But Josie first wants to compliment Treb looking good in his jacket. So I'm not sure if that refers to artwork or if maybe they saw Treb in an astral plane or a dream state, but I just thought I'd mention that. So again, this is for either you or Treb. And the question is, can you give any info on the Norway spiral event?
Yes, Treb Bor Yit NE has spoken of this previously, but we will give our own perspective of this energy. When you were seeing the energy that is called the Norway spiral, there were different versions of that reality from many of you. Most of you experienced the same version of energy that Rob and Kalina both experience. When we say this, we will express the difference of those two and what they were and why they were different for both of you. But in that experience, the main collective experience, the wormhole occurring through your version of time and space, knowing that you had just shifted vibrationally from third to fourth density, knowing that the Earth collective was starting to expand, that energy goes out into the grid and manifests itself into a version, a visual cue for you to see that the energy is opening. Now, the mechanism of this occurring was many UFOs that were going in and out of the third to fourth density experience, many cultures and races that are able to experience the version of reality in where they are able to take their own technology ships and shift their vibration from one density or one dimension to the next, were doing so, and doing so in large numbers. From that occurrence, that visual cue comes from the experience. The mechanics of this versus then reason and desire for people to see that experience are much different. But when we express that there were two versions of that experience, majoritively, literally infinite amounts of reasons and energies, but the two that were majorative to your experience were due to the vibrational differences within those who experienced it from perhaps an etherical standpoint, as much of you have experienced by how most of the world experience, and others from a technological view. Those who are so deeply embedded into their own belief systems and that there is no such thing as UFOs, there is no such thing as interdimensional portals. Those entities experienced a version of the same event with the same co-created collective consciousness, and that energy was truly what was expressed upon the news, upon all of those energies around, that it was a failed missile. Now, all of you know, in your experience, deeply in your gut and heart, it was not a missile. That is because you experienced the version of that was that energetic portal. So in the depths of your consciousness, knowing that that portal caused by the UFO interdimensional travel was experienced deeply, others still truly so deeply believe in their gut that it was a failed missile that was tested by the Russians because of their own belief systems, because of their own energy. So even though there is a perceptual difference, there was also a manifestation of a physical difference. We understand this is difficult for some of you to wrap your mind around in a complete manner, but knowing that those two different experiences are always felt different experientially will always prove to you that the manifestation of smaller and larger collective consciousnesses will always work their energy in the same direction it needs to be. So those two energies were majoritively the main two energies in the collective consciousness for the Norwegian spiral. We thank you.
Thank you, Aridif. Sorry for the delay, and also apologies to everyone. Unfortunately, Rob's and my stalkers have been coming online, so just be aware of that, Aridif. I'll just keep you informed, and you might want to try to let Rob know what's going on. But yes, sorry about that, guys. If you see anything nasty, I will definitely block and delete them out. If it gets too out of hand, we'll continue recording elsewhere privately. So don't worry about a thing, guys. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. I'm going to take a deep breath. All right, our next question is from Steve Sis, and hey, this question is actually for Treb, so I'll go ahead and let you shift into
yes, one moment. We will bring forward Treb Bor Yit NE. Good evening, Kalina.
Good evening, Treb. How are you?
Yes, I am very excited to be here. I'm doing very well as well.
All right. We are just excited to have you here today. It's been a long time. So, with that said, I will jump right in. And Steve is asking, is there any truth to the flat earth idea?
Yes, now, when you are looking at this energy, ourselves as well as Aridif have expressed many times about the differences between the experience, just as in the last time that Aridif was asked about a question this day, he asked specifically for all of you to think of the two different beliefs and the two different spirals that occurred. Because there were two different beliefs, there were two different outcomes, and this is something very similar. There is a great energy around that idea of the earth that is being flat. So there are some humans who experience that flat earth, who, if they were to walk to Antarctica and walk through all of the blizzards and all of the cold weather, would go to the edge to find a very large dome. But the number of those that experience that energy will not be nearly the same as someone who would walk through the Antarctica continent and walk right around to the other side of it. The Earth, from our own perspective, myself as well as Aridif, as well as Rob and Kalina and many of you who are here, experience the Earth as the way that you would perceive a globe or the way that you would perceive a sphere. Not a very directly round sphere, but one that is awkward and bumpy in certain locations. As you look out into the galaxy, you see many different stars. You can even see different planets. All of those carry a very natural shape that is known as a sphere. The reason why the sphere continues to occur within the galaxy is because the energy of a sphere is the greatest energy to work without going against its own forces when you are dealing with both gravity, electromagnetic energy, electricity, nuclear forces, heavy and weak, all of the forces that you are aware of, but all the forces that you are not. The sphere is the one that contains the ability to both hold its shape and not be affected, or perhaps as you would see it, destroyed by other grander or larger forces. A sphere is one of the greatest energetic shapes or geometrical patterns that is so energetically sound that it can hold its energy and can also transmute its energy and keep its form compared to many of the other geometric three-dimensional patterns than any other combined.
Thank you so much, Treb.
Yes, and I am very excited to be here with you as well.
Oh, yeah, and I was laughing because Krishnanand said he wished it was a donut, and I was about to try to type, yeah, if it was a donut, though, everybody would try to eat it, and then we wouldn't have anywhere to live. So it took me so long. So I wasn't laughing at the question asked, just so you guys know. Okay, so let's see. We have our next question is for Aridif. So Treb will definitely see you again. We love you.
Yes.
You know you'll be right back.
Please. Well, back without hesitation all day yet again. This is Aridif.
Welcome back, Aridif.
Yes. Greetings.
Greetings. All right, so our next question is from Starseed Lolita, who says, please tell me about my ET connections, origin, and present life dream state contacts and activities. I have some awareness, but I would like to expand upon it. Thank you.
Yes, when you are speaking of origins, what you are speaking of is where your own energy comes from. You perceive yourself in a certain lineage of energy that is from other planetary consciousnesses. And although this is correct, you also have a great deal of energy that is bound to the Earth collective consciousness. All of the entities that exist upon the Earth collective now share that same exact pattern. Some of you feel that you have been from the stars incarnating into the earth in this experience for the first time ever, but have lived upon earth for millions of incarnations, some of you for 10, 20, 100 incarnations, but all of you have experienced both the earth and out of earth experience. The reason why many of you feel so directly connected to those star systems is because you are opening your higher chakra systems in this experience. For the first time as a third to fourth density being, you are joining the higher chakra systems to expand themselves into a fourth density experience. Therefore, you are reaching to higher vibrational frequencies automatically. By doing this, you feel not only your higher dimensional energy that is connected to you in this earth experience, but also your probable future incarnations. So, in your specific experience, you are correct. You carry a great deal of incarnations. And if you are looking at them from the linear standpoint, you have come into the earth incarnation from multiple places, but in the last incarnation, directly from the Pleiades. Now, when we say Pleiadian incarnation, this is a large and blanket term covering tens of thousands of different races. So if you are looking at the star known as Electra, gravitational system that is connected to Electra has a very humanoid race, one that is almost indistinguishable from humans. And those entities came to the Earth experience not only to communicate, but also to have incarnations upon Earth from their perspective of helping. Now, we wish for all of you to understand this occurs very frequently. Some entities come from a type 1 system to incarnate into the Earth collective so that they themselves can experience what it is to be human. It is the greatest version of empathy that is available. I can only know what you are and what you experience by being one of you. That is type 1. The type 2 systems incarnate into the Earth collective consciousness because they believe in their own mind that there is something that can be done to help the Earth collective consciousness. I am sent here to save Earth. I am sent here to help the Earth collective consciousness. I am here to teach all humans about enlightenment and growth. That is from a type 2 incarnation. You yourself came from a type 2 incarnation, but you came from one that is highly benevolent in nature. These entities come with more of the empathetic energy. They do have ways of their own perspectives that they could assist mankind. They could share information energy. And you are one of those entities who chose to come in for that purpose. Now, when you came into this experience for the purpose of helping, you knew that a direct interfering way would not be sufficient. So in the process of learning both what it is to be a human, but also share the multiple incarnations on Earth from your own singular perspective, that you could do something different in each incarnation. Now, let us express this perhaps in a bit of a different way for the better understanding. As a higher density being, your consciousness is much larger than a human consciousness. So you divided yourself into 4 different human experiences and are living them simultaneously. Now, if you take away the idea of time not being linear and place it in the standard of linear time, this is actually your 3rd of 4 lifetimes. The first two, one of them spinning backwards, going 1,100 years previous, and one going even further at 1,800 years previous, were the first two. This, the third, another in 120 years in your future, linearly. All of those lifetimes split apart from one consciousness are going to be able to experience a version of helping. This role in this incarnation, at least for the intent of your own incarnation process, was that so that you could experience at being a human, being an actual human, and sending your own energy from your higher self, which knows that it is higher dimensional and knows that it is Pleaidian, knows that it is directly connected to the Pleaidian collective consciousness grid, both in the Pleiades and on Earth, and assemble information and distribute information from that grid area. Now, there are multiple ways to utilize that grid surfacing, interacting process, and connection. First of all, being aware of what you are, who you are, that is important to you, but it is not important enough for the experience of just being a human. In being a human, many of you are from other star systems that feel that disconnect from being on Earth, feel as if you are almost out of place being here. One moment, we will hydrate Rob's throat and continue. So in that area of feeling out of place, you feel that it is important to make yourself feel comfortable. We would suggest that if you work on the same alignment of ideals, if you work on placing your energy in the excitement, you will find your greatest ways to help humanity in the same way you desired before incarnating. Many of you feel you must come up with a grand design, that you must be a teacher, a guru of sorts, but just being human is enough. Experiencing the greatest excitement is enough. The grid system, your non-products of thought, or what most of you would perceive as the unaware thought processes that occur between the higher self and the lower fractalized consciousness, will distribute that version of your excitement and happiness through the greatest ways and least resistant ways possible. So what we suggest for you, continue finding your excitements and speaking from the depths of your heart. If you are speaking what is in your mind to others, it will be the form of teaching that will outgrow and outbe any other version of speaking from places or feelings of desire and even feelings of obligation could ever achieve. We thank you.
Thank you so much, Aridif.
Yes.
And for all these awesome questions that you guys are asking. Okay, looks like we are going to have Treb back again.
Yes, one moment. Yes.
Welcome back, Treb.
Yes, it is very exciting to be back as well.
Awesome. Okay, we have a question from Ishana who says, I give my full permission for all the energy to be read. I have a strong desire to move home, either within my current country or overseas. Could you please read my energy and give me a guidance regarding my current capacity to make this happen in an easy way without struggle, and on what locations my energy is currently most aligned with? Thank you.
Yes, we do not have to look deeply in your energy to see this idea. It is one that is laying out at the outermost part of yourself. It is one thing that is at the forefront of both your mental, emotional, spiritual, and connectual energy that is within you. So as we are perceiving your own energy, what we would express to you to help you in the greatest way that we can is, when you are going for the home, you must first realize the definition of home that is most alignment with you, and also the version of home that feels greatest in your heart. There are many places within the Earth Collective that are fitting for your own co-creational energy, but in reality, from the Earth Collective consciousness, you are always able to go to any place and align your energy to that place most instantly. Some of the areas that are most large within your own energy is some of the energies or countries that are in the farthest part of Eastern Europe, and some of the countries that are in the old Scandinavian areas. And when you look at the United States, there is the northwest coastern area and the far middle western coast of Canada as well. Those are some of the places that are sticking out largely within your energy now. But when you find the people from that area that you wish to be home, when you find a place that feels that it is a part of your energy, you will know where that home is as soon as you land and as soon as you go there. As far as it is knowing the hardships of traveling because of the nature of money that it costs, knowing the details that must be adhered to from traveling and from going around the world, what we can tell you is that when you go to co-create with other people, that those entities will help you a great deal with those logistics. Knowing people from around the world, getting to know them, speaking to them, becoming a part of their lives, this can make much easier traveling and much easier resistance from going from one country to another.
Thank you so much, Treb.
Yes, and thank you as well.
Awesome. All right. Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to find my next place. Okay, so the next question is for Aridif. So we will see you again, I'm sure, soon, Trevi.
Yes, one moment, please.
Thank you.
Well, back without hesitation or delay yet again, this is Aridif.
Thank you so much, Aridif. Welcome back.
Yes.
Okay, so our next question is an anonymous one. Excuse me. And they ask, is it possible to channel the White Royal Reptilians, and if so, how?
Yes, first of all, to be in alignment with an energy is the only way to truly channel that energy. Now, we are not saying it is impossible to work with energies that are not similar to yours or who are not 100% resident. There is always ways to open up your energy for other entities that are not as far in your alignment. But what we can tell you, it is easier for an entity to channel a being who is in a vibrationally distant or disconnected place, or perhaps as you would see it, a more disconnected place than they are from, than it is to go to an entity who is much more connected to you. And what we mean by this is that if your energy is here, and if an entity's energy is down here, and up here is the most connected energy that you can be, connected to all of the oneness, connected to the type 1 energy, then going down is much easier. Within the earth and human collective consciousness, the spectrum of connection to disconnection is great. Many of you understand this because you would be capable of extreme violence to protect your own self, to protect those that you love, to go through an experience that normally you would never fit into a category, a possibility at the most extreme measure. So it is always easier for the human collective to go downwards or further away from connection than it is to go upwards. So when you are speaking of those that are royal in nature and reptilian in a draconian manner, those entities could be accessible by the majority of humanity if they were in alignment with that energy in the moment. So to gain access to being in a proximity of vibration that is close enough for your channeling, you would have to start opening yourself to the darkest nature of yourself. Now, we are not saying all draconian energies are negative. We are not saying that they are not proper or connectable. What we are saying is the majority of those that are alpha draconian in nature reside within the malevolent to neutral spectrum of type 2. So to place yourself in that alignment, you must also place yourself in the most neutral to most malevolent energy. Now, going against your own grain is something that we would never suggest to any human being. But if your energy is already open to that experience, then opening yourself to channel that entity is quite easy. And we understand saying one thing and for all of you to do is quite a different experience. It is quite a jump. But in your own experience, by opening yourself to that vibration and to allow the feeling of communication, the feeling of connection, that is the majority of the steps that must be taken. Now, there are a great deal of communicative tools that are given that can be of use to you. There are also many techniques taught by ourselves and others that can get you more fine-tuned with that energy. But understanding that there is no disconnection from you and that entity to start with is the greatest hurdle for most humans to deal with. Even your own self, knowing both in feeling, in realization, in your mental, emotional, and energetic body, that when you are disconnected from an energy, it means it is not a part of your experience. But because you are connected to all things, and the only ones you can't experience are those who do not perceive as connected, or perceiving yourself as connected, knowing that is half the battle. Feeling that vibrational proximity of emotional, mental, and energetic closeness will be the greatest step. After that, we suggest you look into different ways to channel. There are thousands of books in your Earth Collective, both directly and indirectly written about channeling. There are also many teachers who are alive in this day who are able to do so, to help work with your specific nature of connection. Going through from your energy and what we perceive, we suggest to start off with first the pendulum, secondly the written form, then thirdly the telepathic form. That would be the most natural progression for your energetic build in this moment. We thank you.
Thank you so much, Aridif.
Yes.
And I just wanted to add a little a comment that and I've been doing a little messaging and stuff here back and forth. So if I missed out on something that was already covered, forgive me. But I know a lot of the reptilians, they are, not a lot of them, but some of them have kind of been breaking away from the whole standard draconian way of being. And just very quickly, I wanted to state that I, a very long time ago, was originally from the Matrix, where an aspect of myself was draconian that broke off to kind of try to wreak havoc on Earth as in human form. It backfired. I fell in love with humans and eventually ended up going on to mainly be Arcturian for most of my life and developing that way. But coming back on periodic occasions as a starseed. And I just kind of wanted to point out that maybe it would be an interesting thing to maybe consider, not just focusing only on like royal reptilians, but maybe also those that broke off, because When I was visiting, both Rob and I were visiting Scott a couple years ago. One of his friends who lives up in North Dakota, right? Aridif, I think it's North
Yes,
Dakota.
this is
Yes.
correct.
Well, it is amazing. Like there's like hardly any city or anything, and the skies are very clear. And we were trying to see starships, and I looked up the sky. And one of my questions was, is any of my Draco family that has broken off out there? And I immediately saw this huge flash of a UFO. It was so exciting. I yelled out. And so I think they're there. And I didn't know if you wanted to add anything to that, or if you had mentioned that while I was working on some messages and things in between. But I think you might be interested in considering reaching out if you're looking to work with higher vibrational entities. You might have a little bit more luck, and they might be more of a match. So I just thought I'd throw that out there.
Yes, we will expand upon that concept by saying that in the alignment with what Kalina is saying to you, that when we express the idea, those are malevolent to a neutral vibrational vibrance or a spectrum, perhaps, that in that neutral perspective are those that are more so going towards the type 1 energy, those who break apart from that collective. So it is in complete alignment with what we've expressed, and also expressing that when you utilize your intent, know that you are connected already, and feel those who are wanting that higher vibration experience, it will even make it more easy for you when you are going through your own experiential energy of connection process with these entities. We thank you.
Absolutely. And as long as they're not trying to tell you that you need to do this, need to do that, anything that breaks into your own free will, that's one of the things that I tell people how they know if they're working with, for lack of better words, a good guide versus one that may have other agendas. So that you can keep yourself and the experience that you want to be in. So, all right. So I'm going to move on to our next question. I don't see anything about whether it's for you or Treb, so I guess that'll be up to you guys. This next question comes from Bella, who says, I have been suggested by one of my guides, Emily, to work as a home care companion for a nursing home. My question is, where do I start to look, and will it be through an agency? Will it be nearby?
Yes, first of all, the proximity of this energy is within a 40-mile radius of your own energy for a great deal of the probabilities. But as we've expressed previously, all things are only connected to the probability of occurring from your own free will and your connection to that energy. So the more that you place your belief systems in being open vibrationally, less resistant, and the more that you place positive thoughts in alignment with gaining access to these varieties of jobs, and the more you act upon those thoughts within the range of belief systems that are of less resistance, the higher the probability is to making that manifest in the way that you desire. Secondly, knowing that expectations also create barriers in certain ways. When you say, I can only do this with a certain variety of people, in a certain variety of ways, in a certain area, geographically, you are taking away a great deal of probabilities that could manifest themselves outward that are slightly or even highly outside of that spectrum of your own proximity and of your own making, with your own attention to the details. So when you are walking forward into this experience, in order to manifest it more quickly, try to leave as many great expectations out of your way as possible. One moment, we must hydrate, Rob. The more expectations that are kept out of the way, the higher the vibrational quality of energy that will manifest in a much quicker format. Remember also that when you have an expectation, you could perhaps block an energy of something else occurring. What we mean is go forward with this idea. Look within your 40-mile radius of those who are in greatest need of the care that you desire to offer. We are not sure exactly what the specific nature of the job that you desire to do is, although we understand it is in alignment with helping others. So go into those places within that 40-mile radius that offers the greatest amount of help, but also remind yourself that if you are open to following your excitements only and making that your only desire to follow what feels right and what excites you, there can be doors open to opportunities that are similar but different in the way you are perceiving them now. We see that when you are working within the first 2 months of looking from places within that 40-mile radius and acting upon that, it can open up at least 3 different energies that are within 40% vibrational similarity as the job that you are believing or thinking that you desire now. So stepping forward and acting when you do find that energy is paramount in order to manifest. Your free will always take you where you allow it to take you. So releasing that resistance will allow it to take you much further. We thank you.
Thank you, Aridif.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. And our next question is coming, is for Treb.
Yes, one moment, we will connect. Good evening again, Kalina.
Good evening, Treb. Again.
Yes.
Give me just a second. Every time someone sends a new question, it I guess it sends me back up to the top. Okay, here we go. I think, whoops, where did it go? 1 second. Technical issues again. Strange. Okay. Okay, give me a second. For some reason, the responses got not erased, but they got jumbled. There we go. Okay.
Yes.
It's more of a, it's like it has a mind of its own, which I kind of like after what happened to me last night, with the phone and what Aridif said makes me wonder, okay, let me find, where are you? It's from Nick, so I'm just looking for Nick's name. Where did you go? There it is. Okay. All right. He says, hi, Treb. I have a hard time coming into action. When I make plans or want to commit a certain form of action in the physical world, I very often cancel plans last minute or just choose not to do the thing I decided to do earlier. Can you talk about what happens energetically here and give some tips? Thank you.
Yes, this is something that is very common among the human collective, especially for those who are trying to find themselves being spontaneous, or those who are also on the opposite end of that idea, being very organized or very planned. The reason why this continues to occur is for 3 different reasons. The very first reason is that you are trying to experience something. You are perhaps excited about that. You are perhaps very happy about that idea. But when you go to do it, the action mechanism that is within all human consciousness becomes interrupted. The majority of you who experience that energy do experience that energy because of energies between your first and third chakras that continue to go out of whack or bounce backwards and forwards, and it is usually caused by feelings of unsafety or non-safety, and also because of the experiences within your own perspective of yourself. Now, when we say that, we don't want you to look at yourself and say that my sense of seeing myself is directly related to that energy, so if I think good about myself, it will fix it. Although that is partially true, the reason why that occurs is your action mechanism is placed in an energetic sense between your third and fourth chakra. And the reason why we say that is because acting upon something is moving forward from a place of sense of self without worries about safety of going forward, and is also a part of the heart connection because of the excitement of what you are going to do. So if you look at that being placed between your third and fourth chakra, anything that happens under the third chakra can affect the flow of that energy. So you go to the second reason why many humans have this issue, and even you specifically. When you are placing your plans and making your plans, you are excited in that moment, and that excitement fuels other things. But the logical mind comes along and starts saying, what if this happens? What if that happens? Your third chakra starts placing itself outside of the now moment, forward in linear time, but also looks back into previous experiences. I've tried this before and it did not work. I've tried something like this and it wasn't fun or exciting. So now you have placed yourself outside of that moment, and the logical mind is continuously wreaking havoc on manifesting this experience. The third thing that causes this energy is the action for certain things are truly not benefiting the overall experience that you are desiring and the overall experience that your soul and your lower fractal consciousness require. Now, this is only a part of the things that are not coming to fruition, the parts of things that you feel from senses of obligation or from senses of desire of wanting to do something in one moment, but not feeling as if it is that exciting later. So when you are in that alignment, knowing that it is okay to change your mind in any given time, that your word being your bond is not as important as taking care of yourself and allowing you to flow in any direction in each moment, that itself will help the third aspect or the third prospect. Now, when you are looking at the part of yourself that is connecting to the logical mind, there are many different ways to work on that idea. The first is trying to let your heart guide the way instead of the mind. So this is going from letting your third chakra be in charge to letting your fourth chakra be in charge. The way that you can practice this in the daily routines that help is allowing yourself to feel a process out and then stepping into that immediately without resistance or without hesitations of energy. And starting small with those things are the best ideas in our perception, because when you start in the smaller things, you will see a difference and change in your experiences, which will prove to your logical mind that that is the correct thing to do. So you will beat the logical mind at its own game by starting small and proving to it that following the heart is much easier and much more productive. Now, the first energy of going through the experience between the third and fourth chakra and allowing energy, a flow better for the senses of safety, all of those can occur by expanding the heart and doing the other things that we suggest, but also knowing that in each moment, availability of shifting vibrations and availability of flowing more so with the momentum of excitement rather than timing or rather than being in the moment, knowing that the action mechanism is only that energy between the heart and third. Try to build a relationship between those two to allow it to communicate better and to allow it not to fight itself. And the way you can do this is every time you start thinking about what makes you you, what is your life, what is backwards and forwards into time, try to relate a very great sense of love with that idea. For example, when you think, I am very slow at doing things sometimes I am late to appointments, or sometimes I drag behind, that is very directly tied to a story that you tell yourself about yourself. So in that moment, send yourself love, say, it is okay to be who I am, not follow the collective's calendars and clocks, and allow myself to be myself in each moment. The more that you use techniques that bind your third and fourth chakra and let go of those feelings of not being safe, the more that that energy will flow, and the more that the energy will become easier, that when it comes time to act on something that is both exciting and beneficial, that you will be able to.
Thank you so much, Treb.
Yes, you are very welcome.
All right. This next question is from Sergey. I hope I'm saying that correctly. But it's for either you or Aridif. It sounds like Aridif might be in. Let me see. Nope, it's Treb. Okay. So the question is for either of you, and he says, it's understood that past lives and future lives are more accurately described as simultaneous incarnations, just vibrating on different frequencies that are perceived as past and future from a linear perspective. The connections to probable future and past lives are determined by the current vibratory state in the moment. So how accurate are the predictions of the past and future lives for an average human, considering that the vibratory state changes all the time and the most probable future life today might not be probable anymore in 5 years?
Yes, first of all, we are back without hesitation or delay. Yet again, this is Aridif. And secondly, we wish to express that this is why we give, in the terms expressed to all humanity, probable future realities and probable past versions. This means that even your past is tied to an idea, vibration in the moment. So when you are experiencing a past life that has occurred, that continues to show in your dream state, you are absolutely correct in this idea. It is only a vibration of that now moment. So, knowing that those previous incarnations and future incarnations are only relevant to your now vibration, it will give you the opportunity to stop identifying with those energies to such a high degree. For those of you who do, there are many of you who say, because I was so-and-so in my previous life, I must fulfill this certain idea in this life to repair or to give way to that energy that was co-created in the previous existence. In our perspective, the only moment now is relevant. There are many of you who have spoken to us multiple times throughout those processes of years, and through the processes of years, we would express, this was my previous incarnation, and we would agree several years later, this was my previous incarnation. Now it is not your previous incarnation. So you are correct in your perspective, you are correct in your intuition and correct in the energy, in order to place yourself in that value of existences previous or future, the non-relation of your lower fractal consciousness to those experiences is important. And this is why we have always expressed the non-identification of those, but not the separation, is more healthy for the human collective consciousness, especially when you are looking back to all of those belief systems that carry karma from life to life. In this experience, you are not paying any debt owed from previous incarnations, nor are you laying the groundwork in this incarnation for the next. Knowing that, this gives you all the freedom to live your life in this moment for the sake of this life, knowing that no matter what experience, previous or future, that is probable to your reality, truly knowing that this life is your own and no experience outside of those need to be adhered to or tended to, gives you that sense of freedom that will forever let you go forward in consciousness. Now, we have expressed this ideal through not just warning or expressing our concern to others who have so strongly identified with those previous or future incarnations, but we also express to you that when you are doing what is best for you in this moment, when you are living in your happiness and excitement, you are benefiting those newfound experiences, newfound probable future realities and past probable selves or versions, because you are giving your way to new experiences and new connections in each moment of the versions of those entities you are connecting to. So if you live happily all of your life, that vibration connects you to the happiest lives of your future and past. We thank you for your own noticing of this concept, and we give you gratitude for tapping into your intuition and trusting deeply into that intuition. Yes, we did hear you, although not through the mechanical headphones.
How about now?
Yes, we are able to hear you clearly.
I may or may not have had it unmuted or muted, so guys, let me know if you hear typing. Okay, let's see. So our next question is from you, from Deborah.
Yes.
And she says, please explain a dream I had a few days ago. I was in the private apartment of the wife of the President of the United States. It was not a big apartment, but it was beautiful. Every room was a lovely yellow color, and there were what I thought to be expensive pieces of art in the room. I was with a few other women, and we were having a good time. I am wondering what this dream means, especially with all the political turmoil happening in our country. Thank you very much.
Yes, first of all, greetings to Deborah. Secondly, we wish to express to you that this dream state was multiple energies coming to fruition in one. First of all, the entity that you perceive as the President of the United States of America's wife. That energy is one that is in your own oversoul collective consciousness. So you are working with that energy at an oversoul level. This is not the only reason that your dream state occurred. You were working not only with consciousnesses of those entities that are perceived as high in power or places that are available to influence others, but you are also working from a perspective where you yourself at the higher levels were able to influence your own self. The reason of this co-creation was taking parts of the oversoul in an experience that seemed awkward to your waking mind, but normal to your sleep state, so that you could bring forward the understanding, first of your connection to the process of the physical reality around you, but also knowing that you must motivate your own self in certain areas of your existence. In spiritual essence, you are expanding yourself by having this tea time. And we understand this sounds to a certain level absurd, but when you look at the dynamic of the way that the collective consciousness turmoil is occurring, you have one person sitting at the table with you who is of high influence and importance in certain society rings. Then you have yourself and multiple other people sitting in the middle of an experience that normally would be quite, perhaps as you would see it, crazy or quite diverse, as you see the energy of turmoil all around you, but the sovereignty and peace at this area. What you are doing is feeding down all of the experiences of your own expansion and showing yourself to them in real time. You are showing that even though your life has had turmoil, even though it has had resistance, you have still allowed your higher self to be that guide or that prestigious person sitting with you, giving you the information, giving you the sustenance of tea to relax, to enjoy, to sustain the vibration of yourself, and also the alignment of those in your oversoul who have resonated with you to be there upon your journey. You are quite aware of many individuals within your oversoul that have been a sustaining part of your life in areas of turmoil. You are also aware of those who have helped expand and sustain spiritual co-creational vibrations with you. So in this experience, it is showing you all of these things through the symbolism of that experience. And we thank you.
Thank you very much, Aridif.
Yes, before diving into this next question, we must check into the time period that is left.
Yes, it is 3:58 right now.
Yes, we will continue then for the next 15 minutes before disconnecting.
Okay. Alrighty, let me look at for the next question here. Okay, M. Sherry says, who were the Olmecs? It's spelled Olmecs.
Yes, and this is the entire question.
Yes.
Yes, now this reference is not familiar to Rob's own mind, but when we perceive this word and ideal, there are three different connections to this process. First takes us in the area of ancient entities that were working and co-creating with those entities that are in, perhaps as you would see it, the central middle portion or the Middle Eastern portion of the entire world collective. Excuse us, Rob's physical body is going through hiccups. So in that area of the Middle Eastern period, that energy of the Olmecs were consciousnesses that were extraterrestrial in nature, working with those entities. Now, this was after the time period that is known as the Anunnaki, but after the energy, or pardon us, after the energy of those that are Anunnaki and before those of the ancient Egyptians. Now, we also see a second point of energy. We see another energy of extraterrestrial within the same variety of energy of those that are perceived in that region and were connecting to those entities in the South American region. Now, the third portion is one that is also extraterrestrial in nature and have worked with entities upon the area of the planet that is now North American continent. Those three areas are connected to extraterrestrial beings. We are not sure if this energy is the Olmecs of your own definition, but from that word, that is the only energy that we are able to draw without having a definition within Rob's own mind. We thank you for this.
Thank you very much. Give me just a moment because there's
Yes.
a technical issue with the form going on right now.
Yes, we understand.
I'm going to reopen it. That might fix it. Okay, our next question, let me see, there's, it says Treb and Aridif, so I guess both or either of you guys can answer this.
Yes.
This person is named, I'm not sure if it's pronounced Iwa, says, sending you guys lots of love. Please tell us your perspective on the significance of March equinox in terms of the third matrix. Thank you.
Yes, first of all, we feel the love that you send and we give it back to you also. Now, when you are seeing the equinox that occurs within the next few days of your own time, we believe your calendar expresses the 20th of this month. What we perceive is the release of energy of resistance. Many of you have carried on from that end of 2016, that deep self-wandering. And we see a great deal of resistance in the way that you experience the environment around you to be released. The reason why that occurs is due to the nature of the co-created solar system collective consciousness. When you see the alignment of your planets, your moon, and you to the sun, you perceive a great deal of different dynamics. But the way that we would perceive this is each of those planets, each of those moons, and your star themselves are different entities co-creating with the entity in which you are a part of that collective consciousness, the earth itself. Some of you call Gaia or Mother Earth, is that entity who is co-creating with all entities around them. So in that essence, you are experiencing a certain release of environmental resistance. That is due to the nature of the communication with the solar system in the way that the Earth collective itself is going into that alignment of energy, of release of the illusion, release of the physical nature of things around you. Although it is not truly an illusion, it is a matrix of sorts. So in that ideal, your soul and consciousness are the realist drivers of all things, but the physical plane around you has been created. So you will see release from resistance around you in that way, but you will also see a great deal of expressions of new connection processes. Some of you are going to reconnect with entities who have been absent from your experience for months, years, even decades. Those old connections that connect anew, and also new entities starting to creep into your awareness, to creep back into the alignment of your own vibration. The problem with many human consciousnesses, they have disconnected from other entities for a reason. The vibration was no longer a vibrational match or fixed vibration. Therefore, they are stepping away from those entities. But even in an environment as this, those co-creations of old energies will come back to you to co-create one of two reasons. Either for a change in that person's version that you are able to experience, for the healing process of yourself, or an experience of them to show you why you shifted your vibration. That will occur, and this will occur continuously for at least 3 weeks into your cycle after that equinox period. Also, you will notice a great deal of your third eye and crown chakra being opened, closed, open and closed at higher rates, more so than you have experienced since in the 2012 to 13 regions. This will be a very high experience for the majority of you who have worked on opening them already. For those who have opened them to a degree where your intuition, your visualizations, and your psychic abilities have been utilized and used, you will even find a new level of that experience creeping into your awareness. The focus of energy is directly within that 1 day period where the equinox of energy is equally distributed upon the planetary collective. Find that moment also to redistribute balance in your own self for the entirety of the day. If you relax in that day and take in that moment of the day, find the areas where you are out of balance within yourself. If you are able to distribute them evenly. As you understand, all energies need two sides. All energies must also be balanced within themselves. For instance, many of you carry a majority of energy of masculine versus feminine, or feminine versus masculine. In that day, if you are heavy in your masculine, try to find and integrate feminine energy, and vice versa. If you are working from mental status instead of emotional, try to work on the emotional parts in that day and bring them together for good, harmonious energy. Now, we would suggest for you to do this at all times, but the veil remains slighter of that vibrational quality of energy of keeping a balance in that day more so than any in this year. Continuation of your own energetic connection process to the energy around your happiness is also something that will be shown to you. For those of you who are resistant to following your excitements, you will find yourself in situations that tend to be intense for you in the next 1 month, 3-week period of your time. Going forward with as much excitement as you can and acting upon those excitements will be the less resistant way and will show you quicker manifestations, but also the ability to manifest things at larger scales than previously. We thank you. We believe that we have time approximately for one remaining question.
Thank you, Aridif. All right.
Yes.
Let me see who was next here. This is amazing. We got like around 150 questions. So before I find and read the next one that was in mine, here we go. Rob and I are going to be recording for the February-March open forum coming up. So if you guys, you can either email me at trebchanneling.kalina@gmail.com, or if you want to go back in and edit the question you have, if it doesn't get read out today, just in parentheses in all caps at the end of your question, just write the word forum. And we are going to film as much as we can of the questions that we can get to for the forum. And we will be going on not just like the bi-monthly like we did last time, but we will be doing monthly forums where we record the questions. And again, those are all free too, so that you guys, because we know we have a lot of people asking questions, and we want to be able to get to you guys. So please feel free to do that, or you can just email me, and I will put my email again at the end of this question. I'll put it back down for you guys. So if you didn't get your question read, no worries. We're gonna try to do everything we can to get to you guys. So the final question for today, it comes from, and I hope I say this right, P. Malin to Aridif. He says, how to enhance manifestations? I want to manifest like Dr. Strange or John Constantine without saying the spells. So he wants to know how to go about doing this.
Yes, first of all, in the period and phase of evolution of your own consciousness that you are in within the Earth Collective, instantaneous manifestation is not impossible, but it is much more difficult. Once you continue to go through your fourth density experience, master the fourth density connection to your heart chakra, to your connection, and become a complete collective consciousness, then starting your fifth density experience, going through the wisdom aspects, you will find that version of instantaneous manifestations much more quicker. As you go through this experience, the more instantaneous manifestations are possible, but you have to rebuild your understanding of your belief systems. We suggest highly to all who wish to truly look at their own belief systems to go to the 10-step belief system process, which Kalina and Rob can share with you at a later period. But it is a way for you to look deeply into your belief systems and to find where there are resistances within those beliefs. Right now, you are in a system that is a co-created collective consciousness. That co-created collective consciousness is one that adheres to certain laws of physics and energy. Now, as you understand, working from a place of creationism, you are able to do all things without limits. But because you are a part of that created, co-created, and collective consciousness, you are working against an energy. So separating your beliefs from the collective beliefs, but also truly assigning your new beliefs to the way that reality works is vital for instantaneous manifestation. Also, going through all of the things that we've expressed in this day, identifying resistances in your belief, acting on all excitements, but also a deep nature of how the expectation of your instantaneous manifestations will occur is very important. You might believe that if you think, I want a stack of gold in front of me immediately, that it will occur by changing the carbons of your oxygen into gold atoms in front of you, or gold molecules, and creating that gold physically in front of you. But in all actuality, if you are instantaneously manifesting gold, you could have a brick of it fall from the sky, a chipmunk bring it in its teeth to you, your best friend flying by in a car, throwing it at you, saying, here is gold. All of those ways are instantaneous manifestations, working on releasing the expectations of those energies is very important to allow all possibilities and probabilities of that to occur. Look at the 10-step belief system process, identify where the resistance is at, and work on the ways that we have expressed there to remove that resistance and to be aware of your thought processes. We wish to express to all of you that it has been a very exciting experience to co-create with all of you. We also wish to express to all of you that it is always our greatest excitement to both co-create with you, but also to create consciously from our expansive version, interacting to your expansive version. All of us are able to expand simultaneously in this co-creation. Treb Bor Yit NE also expresses his own love, his own excitement, and to express to all of you that as you perceive this to be done, he is connecting to you all with love and with light, and he expresses that he will experience all of you again. I will express that you are loved, and we will bid you adieu for this evening. Kalina, you are loved.
Thank you so much, Aridif. Thank you to you and Treb for being here. And I love you so much, and we all love you. And thank you again for being here today.
Yes, we love you, and also you are loved. Adieu.
Many blessings.
All right. I'm going to take a second to use the restroom real quick. I'll be right back.
Hey, guys. I'm sure Rob will be back to make any announcements or anything. This is really good. Oh, my gosh. Such great questions. And again, guys, we are going to be filming the, oh wait, let me make sure my microphone's on. Yes, it is on. Okay, good. I had to make sure. I'm not the best at multitasking, no matter what Rob says. But yes, we are going to be filming our open forum probably this week, actually. So for those of you that already asked questions underneath the forum and last month, let me see if I can find that link real quick. I think it's the most recent thing posted. Let me. Yeah, and Rob put up on Facebook a couple weeks ago. Let me see if I can do this without messing up. Oh, about the open forum. Okay, I didn't know that. Okay. Let me see, where is it? Trying to find them in order. There it is. Okay. Where does it go? Oh, here we
Yeah,
go.
everybody.
Okay, so this is the place. Some people are putting their questions there. Other people are emailing me, which I'll put down again, but it is up there. And then, of course, if you want to just go back and edit the question you have, just in parentheses in all caps at the end, just put the word forum. Those are 3 different ways you can reach it. We'll probably come up with a much more simplified system for the next month, but we know that people have been asking in different places. So I just want to let you guys know, I'll look in all 3 places and gather them, because believe it or not, Rob, we got like around or a little over 150 questions this time around. So we definitely couldn't get that. And that was just, you know, between the first and second questions. But
that's crazy.
It's amazing. I think that's the most we've ever gotten before in one, 90-minute or a little bit over setting. So, but
Well, that's awesome.
We try to do what we can to like have some more free material for you guys, because we know we're all working on as a human collective, abundance in all forms. And Rob and I, like, we've both been in situations where I cannot tell you how many times, guys, I wanted to go to see Esther Hicks' channel, because she's amazing. I completely love Abraham. And, especially during the first times when I was reading the books and even listening online and getting some of the videos. But at the time, I was still in college, and I was abundant in certain ways, but let's just say I wasn't as abundant financially as I would have liked to have been. And so I hadn't gotten to see her. But we'll probably be able to, as long as we can work the schedule in around Rob's son, we will definitely be able to do that. But that just kind of, reminded me and of Rob of how we're all going through different stages, and we also have different ways that we're manifesting our abundance. And we want to make sure that you guys are able to come in and ask your questions and join in on the fun. So we're going to continue having lots of free material as well as the paid material too, because we want everybody to be included. And of course, for me, one amazing thing for me, even though I want to say back when I was, poor hungry college kid. Okay, maybe not so hungry. That's probably why I couldn't go, guys, because I was eating organic food. But it's like I would have a question burning in my heart, and it would always be out there somewhere, and it would always be answered during the divine timing. So I have found that oftentimes when we ask questions, that they don't get answered until we're truly ready to receive it. And the most beautiful thing is sometimes when we're asking others, guides, we'll actually receive the answer, and then they'll answer it, but it's after you've heard your own guides. And so then it kind of comes an extra confirmation. And I find that the most enjoyable experience of all. So I just wanted to point that out to you guys. But we're going to be seeing more, like Rob said. The reason he was bringing up all the stuff in the beginning is so that you guys can know why you'll see a lot of material from us, and then it'll kind of die down. It's because we are just, for lack of better words, we're weeding out our resistance and open ourselves up to a new and more advanced way of being, again, for lack of better words, because we're all slaying our demons, so to speak, and we're all opening up to our own light and our own, as Rob so beautifully called it, our enlightenment evolution. So we're going through a lot of changes right now, and we are just very honored to be in the presence of you guys. You've got, such beautiful hearts, and you're so wise and so incredible. And we always just love spending this time with you guys. It's just wonderful.
We really do, guys, and we thank you guys for being a part of today. I'm glad everybody came today, asked some questions today. It sounded like it went great. I'm happy to hear. Also, you know, along with what Kalina said, we're trying to get more material out there on our channel. And it's not just so that people can have it for free. A lot of the things that have been talked about in the last year, more than any other time that I've channeled, have been really important things for the shifts that all of us have, are going through and have went through. And that to us is important. You know, we've put out events before and put them out for free so that information could get out, even though knowing it wouldn't bring us more abundance in a financial way. It was important for the collective to benefit from it. And, you know, we know that people have to make money to live and all that stuff, but the information in our hearts and minds, we feel is very important to do. Plus, you know, we know people have, especially, you know, the US dollar can be worth a lot or not a lot, just depending on the flow of time. And sometimes the exchange rate between countries is rough. So it's rough for people to get into events or to buy sessions and stuff like that. So we really do want to make more things like this, more things like the open forum, so that you guys can be an intimate part of that. We're going to start back, at least I am going to start back my radio show soon. I haven't made up my mind if I'm going back to Blog Talk or another format, or if I'm going to stay here, you know, on the YouTube Live like we're doing now. But I want that to be a weekly thing again, so that you guys can participate. I'll probably channel at least once a month on that show, and the rest of the time we're just going to talk like we're doing right now. You know, you call in, ask what's going on in your life, talk about it, share, ask questions, or just, you know, let off some steam of what's going on. We're all in this together, and to get through it together is the most important part in my mind. And I know you feel the same way, sweetheart.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're, you know, and I know I've said it too, I'm going to be starting my radio show back, but, you know, we are just going to get a little bit through this last hump, so to speak. And we'll probably, I don't know, probably around May-ish, we'll probably know a little bit more, possibly sooner, but I would imagine around the end of May would be when we kind of know which way our life polarizes a little bit more, which way things go, and kind of get in the swing of whatever will be. And we're just kind of, how do I put it? We're just kind of allowing ourselves to be in alignment with whatever the divine reality is, because we know that we all create and co-create our own realities, but we also know that all the higher selves involved kind of have their own agendas, their own divine plan. And so Rob and I are working toward really getting into alignment with what our fractal selves here on Earth want, along with our higher selves, trying not to fight the grain, even though it can be a little bit scary sometimes. And I think we're not unique in that way. Everybody's going through this right now. We're all finding a way to really be able to integrate our higher selves, because I think that's part of what being a new, you know, fifth dimensional being means, is really being able to integrate our higher selves. And we're all channeling right now, but we are all weeding out all the stuff. And I feel like we're also weeding out a lot of the stuff that's been passed down through our ancestors, our ancestral genes. Anything that hasn't been released is getting released right now. So I have to give all of our souls a pat on the back for doing that. Especially, I want to shout out to the Earth Seeds. I know you guys hear so much everywhere about star seeds, and star seeds, like myself, get a lot of attention. But I find Earth Seeds amazing because it is so hard sometimes to be a human, you know, and other times it's the easiest thing too, because it's so amazing. The emotions are so There's just such a wide gamut of emotions and ways of being and feelings, and you can have so many emotions in one day. You can wake up happy or sad. At the end of it, you're at the completely opposite end of the spectrum. And to have that many lives where you're experiencing so many ways of being, and it's just all over the place, that's amazing. And to go through that spiritual evolution. So for those of you that have lived thousands and thousands, and that's just counting the human lives. We're not even talking about when you started, in the first density. So I want you to just really think about how amazing that is, how much you've been through, how much you are truly connected to this earth. I know we talk a lot about how humans have been altered and the DNA and all of that, but really think about how beautiful it is and how exciting this new beginning is. I mean, I know for me, thinking of the human aspect of myself, and in realizing that it's really beautiful, and it makes all these changes so much more worthwhile and beautiful to go through. So I think you guys are just absolutely amazing, incredible people, and we really look forward to seeing you guys again very soon.
Absolutely, and we thank you guys for hanging in there with the technical issues on our start off.
Oh yeah,
that occurs.
Other issues too.
And
I shall not name them, but you guys know what I mean. Those of you that were in here early enough, you know what I mean.
Yeah, absolutely, and we're glad you guys stuck that out, and we're glad you guys have been a part of this. We're going to bring that open forum. We're going to shoot it in a week. We hope we'll have it edited and up within a week after we shoot it. So in the next couple of weeks, it should be out and about. We're also going to shoot a lot of other videos, monthly.
Metatron
monthly,
right?
Galactic Channeling. Hopefully even get some Nihal from our past events we did last year. We're thinking about getting some editing out for that.
Yeah.
But there's going to be a flow of more this year, and that's the whole point I wanted to share with you guys. Yes. I hate to, but after channeling, I always need to kick back and relax. Right now, I'm still not 100% all the way here, so I am going to jump off and let you guys know. I just wanted to thank you guys with all my heart. Thank you, sweetheart. You've been amazing as always. Helping moderate and sharing from your heart and adding to those perspectives from other people and from Treb and Aridif and whoever else came through. I love you, sweetie. Thank you.
I love you too, sweetie. Thank you so much for also coming on here and sharing your heart and your channeling and everything. You're just amazing. You're the most beautiful soul I've ever. No offense to you guys. I love you guys. You're all beautiful. But Rob is always going to be the most beautiful in my eyes, And
I think you're biased, but. Well, thank you, sweetie. I appreciate it. It's a huge compliment. I love all you guys very much, and keep your eyes peeled. If you're worried about getting new videos from the thing, they've made it where when you subscribe to the channel, there's a little picture of a bell right by the subscribe button. You got to click that so you'll get emails every time we put out a video, and it will make you aware whenever we set something live up like we did today. So if you haven't subscribed by hitting the bell, subscribe. If you're not subscribed to the channel, you can always subscribe. Comment on the videos. Let us know what you're thinking. Let us know what you want to see in the future for channelings, ideas, subjects. Just share with us. We're always open to hearing feedback. We love you guys so much. And thank you guys for swinging in today for a part of this amazing first monthly webinar for the year 2017. We love you guys with all our heart. And thank you guys so much for being here today.
Yes, we do. We love you guys.
We love you guys. We'll see you next month, maybe sooner. Get your questions out for the forum. Love you guys.
Love you guys. Bye-bye.